Greetings to the delegates and of course the leadership of the CGT Columbia. I very much regret not being able to be with you at your Congress, but I know that your deliberations, the decisions you take, the issues that are raised will not only strengthen your hand but indeed contribute to the work of the ITUC. Let me say up front that I am very grateful for the contribution that Julia Roberto has made to our General Council, but also to the ILO governing body. You know that the world is now facing a crisis of unemployment and inequity. We saw a global crisis created by greed from a financial sector that in fact is reaping the profits of workers' productivity with no commitment to any gain-sharing undertakings through respect of labour rights, of social protection, the very things that are both social rights and expectations of unions, but also, of course, the economic tools that create greater equity, greater stability of demand, and, of course, secure and decent work. Unemployment is now at its highest level ever recorded, 205 million people. But in fact, on top of that, we have millions of women not on the statisticians' books now seeking participation in their domestic economies. And of course, young people, the plight of the generation of young people, 45 million every year, seeking work in economies that can't accommodate them. The result is precarious employment, a growth in the informal economy everywhere, both in the national and the international context. We know that jobs, jobs and jobs, social security, social protection, these are the issues that we must fight. We must also look to the plight of migrant workers and of course of developing and emerging economies and the special needs of those workers who face the greatest vulnerability. Climate change, this is an issue that is core business for unions. Not only is it about the responsibility of passing a safe planet onto our children and grandchildren, but of course it's also about the issues that will drive new jobs, green jobs, the investment in the green economy that will both contribute to security of employment, to decent work in a new economic context, but also of course to the economic restructuring that will save the planet itself. Our governments have been very timid. They've been very timid in the wake of the financial crisis. They've been slow to regulate the financial sector. They've failed to put in place a financial transactions tax. They don't yet take a commitment to either climate financing or to indeed financing the social protection floor that we can touch in regard to the poorest of people. We know that there is much work for us to do. We also know that we cannot do it without the strength and the participation of workers in union centres like yours. Two last final words. The first is, of course, about North Africa. We know that these revolutions now need to be protected. The UGTT, a line of a union, joining the young people in their revolutionary fervour and providing the traditional strength to carry that revolution through and now to negotiate with the government to protect it in terms of democracy, labour rights, human rights, the very fundamentals that make up for freedoms that all workers fight for. We also know, of course, that in Egypt, the fledgling independent unions need our support. We will open an office in Cairo this week, and of course we'll look to what we can do in support of other countries. Bahrain, where our unions are under attack, in Yemen, in Syria, and even in Kuwait. The challenge of actually supporting people who are fighting for the very freedoms that trade unionists know are fundamental to democracy and to rights. These are questions that are questions of solidarity for all of us, and the ITUC will certainly be there, just as you will, to support those unionists. Finally, can I say that we are very aware that the dangers for trade unionists in Colombia are still significant, both in terms of their very lives, but also in terms of the freedom of association and collective bargaining rights that you seek to secure. We know that there are false premises around freedom of associations in the so-called cooperatives. We know that you struggle for the rights to expand collective bargaining coverage. We understand that the economic tools that are both social rights, social protection, a minimum wage on which you can live, collective bargaining rights that distribute wealth equally, and of course investment in jobs, these are things that shift the basic rights of workers to be also economic tools that we will stand up and fight for. So all of the issues that you will tackle this week are relevant, as I said in the beginning, not just to your future, your strategic planning, but indeed to the strength of the global union movement. I thank you, I salute you, and I certainly look forward to seeing the results of your Congress decisions. Solidarity.